Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Professional Development Engagement Work webinar. This webinar is a re-recording, and the original date where this webinar occurred live was actually January 18th. During the live webinar that occurred in January 18th, we had several people join. Several people from the PD team talked about the areas to get involved with professional development. And we also had some of our staff from the community engagement team at DCYF who provided an overview of what their team does and also areas to get engaged with their DCYF-wide engagement strategies and programs that they have. During today's discussion, I'm just going to provide a very quick engagement update. We're going to talk about the different areas that the professional development team has in regards to engagement. And each one of our subject matter experts is here who will be talking about their programs and the ways you can get engaged. And then I'll provide a quick update on DCYF's community engagement team and kind of what their work looks like agency-wide. All right, engagement update. The professional development team actually has a new webpage, which I am about to bring up right now. This is our professional development home page. And if you look here on our navigation, you'll find engagement efforts. This is a brand new webpage. It outlines all of the information where you can participate, where the public can join the different work areas and, provide input or drive the work, provide your feedback, and really help, move the work forward with the voice from the community. The other update I wanted to make, this was actually recently just done. We used to have like its own webpage for newsletters and webinars. Now you can actually find them under the engagement efforts webpage. So if you're ever looking for any of these re-recordings or webinars that we host, they are now living under here. We have a variety of webinars, merit webinars, staff qualifications, webinars for state-approved trainers, for relationship-based professionals. And if you're ever looking for our newsletters, they are also under this engagement efforts subpage for newsletters. And our professional development team oversees two newsletters. One is the professional development newsletter. It's very broad and more general, and it encompasses a lot of the work we do. And the Growing the Workforce newsletter is geared towards state-approved trainers and the state-approved training program. And I'll cover that in more detail in a second. All right, let's go back to the PowerPoint. Oh, stay connected. It's really important to stay connected with our team. This is all about engagement. So I just want to show you back here on this engagement webpage. My contact info is always on here. So if you have any questions about our engagement efforts or really any questions in general, even if I'm not able to answer it, I will find the appropriate person who can answer it. So if you have any questions, just click on that and your email should pop up and you should be able to send me a message. All right, and now I'm going to hand it over to Diana, who's going to be talking about the PACE program.
So first, we're going to talk quickly about what PACE is. PACE is the provider access to a community equivalent. It's the community-based option for meeting one's licensing education requirement for those needing an initial or short certificate for their role. PACE is available at no cost to participants and is available in English and Spanish. We are leveraging existing training to create PACE. So PACE consists of childcare basics, enhancing quality of early learning, or EQUAL for short, and the two parts of PACE to meet the initial certificate, as you see on your screen. The two PACE parts will meet the initial certificate include the fields of early care and education and supporting child development and wellness. New with PACE is on-the-job learning, which is going to be happening throughout PACE Part 1 and 2. PACE training will be found in Merit using the Find Training tab starting this spring, and PACE Part 2 will be available in summer 2022. Please note, if you can't find the training available right away, we are expanding availability throughout the year based on interest. There are multiple ways to get engaged in PACE. Next slide, please. During our development, we have been collaborating with various stakeholders. This has included Child Care Aware of America, Imagine Institute, One America, SEIU 925, State Board for Colleges and Technical Colleges, Voices of Tomorrow, Washington Child Care Association, Washington Federation of Independent Schools, as well as bilingual early learning providers. DCYF also sought community input. We hosted focus groups in English, Spanish, and Somali to seek feedback. DCYF also presented at the 2020 Provider Supports Subcommittee meeting and held interviews with the consulting work groups. DCYF conducted a condensed pilot from May to June of 2021 that provided valuable feedback on how the model worked in implementation. While there was too much to cover in today's short time, we do have 2 feedback summaries available on our website. Next slide, Marlene. And you can use these feedback summaries to review what was received as feedback through our development process. PACE moves into the work for Results Washington. If you're not familiar with Results Washington, it is the initiative of Governor Inslee. 1.1 is has focused on early learning. In October 2021, DCYF participated in public performance review with Governor Inslee to share more about the work that's happening in early learning for his Results Washington initiative. If you're interested in watching the recording, you can do so with the link provided on this slide. So what does this mean for DCYF and the early learning workforce? In 2022, DCYF is committed to expanding the availability of trauma-informed care training through Equal. DCYF continues to work with our training partners to increase delivery throughout Washington. To find available training offerings, use the Find Training tab in Merit. Additionally, the community-based training PACE, part of the work that is happening in the Results Washington work. DCYF will continue to expand availability throughout the year for those that need an initial or short certificate for the early learning role. If you want to learn more about PACE, check out our recorded webinar from December. And more about how you can get involved, DCYF will be conducting focus groups to seek feedback throughout this year. Stay tuned for more information to come out about these opportunities in upcoming communications sent by DCYF. And then more information is going to be included in this webinar and future webinars. For available resources, everything about PACE specifically is available on our DCYF webpage. On the next slide will be an image of that. And so new to our professional development pages, we have the qualifications and roles requirement section with a page dedicated to PACE. Use this page to learn more about information about PACE and to keep updated on this work. Resources include the history of PACE, status updates on the development of our work, a link to House Bill 2556, and in the resources box, you'll find the latest information about PACE there, as well as my contact information if you need to contact me with any questions. Thank you, Marlene. And then my last slide also here, it just includes my email. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me directly. Again, I'm Diana Stokes. I'm the staff qualification coordinator for our professional development team. Up next, I will be handing it off to Athena.
Hello, my name is Athena and I am the dual language coordinator on the DCYF professional development team. Next slide, please. So the Fair Start for Kids Act, Section 305, calls on DCYF to establish a dual language designation to provide subsidy or grants to ECAP, early ECAP, and licensed or certified providers who accept state subsidy. Subsidies or grants from this act can be used to increase wages for individual staff who provide bilingual instruction, professional development and training, curricula or materials, and other related expenses. We are working with a diverse external advisory group to develop the criteria for a designation. Next slide, please. I would also like to mention that designation work is a collaborative process that includes internal and external advisory groups. The external team is working to identify criteria for a dual language designation, as well as pathways and supports to meet the designation, and the internal DCYF team will determine the procedures for implementing the designation in a way that is cohesive with other funding opportunities through the Fair Start for Kids Act and with our early learning systems. Next slide, please. The external advisory group met in December and January and identified priorities for a dual language around messaging and communications, partnerships with tribes, family engagement, cultural responsiveness, and support for programs and staffing. The group also brainstormed key milestones and action steps needed to establish a designation by June 30th, 2022. Based on the input received, we have some next steps for designation work. Our first action item is to finalize and distribute a survey to providers and staff that we hope to see go out in the next few weeks, so please be on the lookout. We are also in the process of drafting a community and family focus group regarding dual language priorities. In addition, we have this webinar and hopefully a future webinar, ideally in March, to provide more detailed updates on, the designation work. And finally, we will be drafting some printable materials and working with our website to market the updates around dual language learning. Next slide, please. And switching gears, training delivery contracts for this fiscal year are active, and most of our contractors are available to deliver the training statewide since we are still in virtual format. These trainings for dual language are available in English and Spanish, as well as in a blended online cohort model and a live facilitation model. The first half of the training provides an overview and introduction to multilingualism in Washington State, bias, and the brain development of multilingual children. It also introduces classroom language models and provides recommendations for effective and welcoming learning environments. The second half of the training focuses the participants on goal setting and collaborative reflection on their own practice. If you'd like more information about the training or about the Fair Start for Kids Act dual language designation, please email me at the address you see listed on screen. Thank you so much.
All right, and next up, we're going to talk about the opportunities to get engaged in our state-approved training program. Our state-approved training program provides in-service hours for early learning providers to meet their annual training requirements. It is heavily focused on training, learning, and providing support to providers who go out and train the field. This program is always looking for ways to improve training access and make sure that the training that is available to providers is high quality and reflects the learning needs of those who are caring for our children. To make sure that we are improving the program in a way that is helpful to learners, we make sure that we reach out to providers, trainers, and training program managers in multiple languages to get a sense of what we need to work on to better, provide the services under this program. The engagement strategies include trainer webinars. They're ongoing and they really provide a support for trainers. Topics can vary. Some of them that I've seen are, how to engage those who are joining a training online, how to make trainings online more engaging, and basically how to provide the best, outcome for these trainings and really support trainers. Another brand new initiative is the lunch hour with the training team. And this is going to happen. This is going to be available in English and Spanish, just like the webinars. And this is actually, I believe, starting in February, so this month. And I actually created a little, you can sign up using Zoom to register for, so they're going to occur every first Friday of each month, and you do have to register if you want to join those. This is going to be a great and informal time to just bring any questions or feedback to the training team, and it's really just a support tool to trainers. If you're curious about this program or how to become a trainer, or you want to deliver trainings, this would be a great place to join this webinar and kind of seek feedback and ask questions. It's an informal setting. I did create a tiny URL actually, which I'm just going to plop in here so everybody can, if you're watching this, you can see it. It's tiny URL. Am I able to? Oh no, I can't. /lunch hour training team. And if you actually go to that, you will go to the Zoom page, the Zoom registration page, where you can choose the best day for you to join and register for that. So you'll see here lunch hour with the training team. They are happening every month, so you can choose whatever month fits your schedule and register for it. Please make sure to enter your address info correctly, because sometimes you will not get the registration details if you input an incorrect email address. Another tool that the State Approved Training Program uses to engage and support trainers is the ongoing and regular quarterly Growing the Workforce newsletter, which I actually mentioned at the beginning of this webinar. I'm just going to go back to that page. So this is our PD home, and all of our newsletters and webinars are living under the engagement efforts page. So I'm just going to go to the newsletters page so you can kind of get a feel for what they look like. Growing the Workforce newsletter goes out quarterly, and it's really there to provide all the updates around the training program. The audience are state-approved trainers and those in relationship-based professional development roles, coaches and whatnot. So this is actually, this is where you'll find any communications that goes out to this newsletter. And actually the recent newsletter just went out in January because it is quarterly. I guess I'm just going to show you kind of what it looks like. You'll see right then and there that what is in this issue, and it is translated into Spanish and Somali. And yeah, it's just a lot of resources for those in the training field, trainings available to support your learning as a trainer, the webinars that are happening. This one just occurred in January, supporting trainers with conflict resolution, help us plan a conference for trainers. So this, this is a great tool to register for, or if you can subscribe to it, and if you're interested in going into the training field, this is a great tool to be a part of. And on the newsletter page, you can actually subscribe to any of our newsletters by going here, newsletter subscriptions, and you just enter your email address and submit. And again, please write your email address correct, because during the live webinar, we actually found out that several trainers didn't know about these resources. So this is really unfortunate, but thankfully we were able to sign them up and subscribe them for this newsletter. So now they're getting all these great resources. All right, where am I at? So this is the information for the State Approved Training Program. If you are listening to this webinar and you're interested in becoming a trainer, or you're already a State Approved trainer and you have questions on, supporting your trainees, how to better conduct online trainings or resources for your trainings that you're delivering, or if you want to sign up for the newsletter or those lunch hours with the training teams or those webinars, just email the training team and they will be able to address your questions or connect you to those resources that they are working on. The professional development strategies webpage on our website actually outlines all that information about the State Approved Training Program. So I'll just quickly show you how to get there. I have our PD homepage actually saved to my bookmarks. So because I'm always navigating it, but professional development strategies, it's a very large name. It basically is focus on professional development. And if you have any questions about the state approved training program, you can find it here. If you're interested in becoming a state approved trainer, you can find out the process and instructions here. A lot of our materials are translated in Spanish. A lot of the trainers do provide trainings in multiple languages. And really what guides the frameworks, how, you know, the knowledge that trainers should know in order to teach those in the field. So this is the page. If you have questions, here's the website, training@dcyf.wa.gov. All right, and the last update is around DCYF's community engagement team. During the live webinar, they did join us live and were able to provide this update. And we were very thankful for that. So if you don't know, DCYF's community engagement team provides oversight and support in working with external stakeholders and advisory bodies to ensure consistent and effective communication between constituents and the agency. So I'm going to just navigate to their webpage really quick so you can kind of get a feel for, you know, some of the work that touches the entire agency. Sometimes the search button is the easiest way to find things. So I will just put community engagement and see if it will actually lead me to their page. Community engagement. So here is our DCYF community engagement webpage. And on here, you'll see all of the councils, subcommittees, advisory groups that our community engagement team, you know, really supports. And these are open to the public. So I'm just gonna click on any random one and see kind of what the public should expect when they're on these web pages and through this type of work. So, you know, if you click on any of the advisory committees or groups, all meetings, you'll be able to find the information about really what this is, who the audience should be, who the members are, what the meetings are about, when they occur. All meetings are open to the public and public attendees are welcome to attend. Anything that the government holds is open to the public. You don't have to be part of the committee or, you know, be a member of a committee to join any of these meetings. If something interests you, if you're a parent and you're curious what's going on in the parent advisory group, you know, you can learn about the upcoming meetings and join them. They also place all of their agendas and meeting notes. So if you missed a meeting and you were curious what happened in the July 2021 meeting, they have the meeting recording, meeting minutes to really keep up on all the work of these committees. If anyone is interested in any particular group or subcommittee, they're encouraged to reach out to the community engagement team at DCYF. And yeah, I mean, reach out to learn more, how to get involved, what they're about. And you can basically click on any of them and they will take you to our community engagement team contact info. Well, actually this one doesn't have it, but let's see if the early learning advisory. Okay, great. So the early learning advisory committee or council, I just clicked on it. But if you guys have any questions, like I said, or want to get involved in these agency-wide committees and subgroups for the agency, this is the community engagement email. And I'm actually just going to click on it because it's kind of long. It's dcyf.communityengagement@dcyf.wa.gov. No one might remember that, but the easiest thing would be to just Google community, or not Google, just search community engagement and go to their web pages, and our contact info for all of the different various teams within DCYF typically have a contact info button. So definitely reach out. And that was it. If anyone has any questions about community engagement for the professional development team, you're welcome to reach out to me, and here's my contact info. And like I said, I get a lot of questions for different things for our professional development team. I may not know how to answer them, but I will definitely connect you to the correct person. And thank you so much for joining us today. And hopefully you visit our web pages and get engaged in the work that we do, because your voice is definitely needed. We are public servants and we work for the public, which means that we definitely need to engage the public in the work that will, basically impact Washingtonians. So thank you so much.